think that fear comes from of I'm putting all my eggs in this basket and they're scared, right? Because that's pretty much what it is. They're scared, but why?
Outsiders, letting people into your circle that shouldn't be in your circle. You know, I don't know if you guys use the word anymore, haters, you know, being around people that can't do what you can do and letting that little bit of doubt seep in. You know, we talked about our accountability team. That was it. You know, our group, and we're still here today, still talking. But our group, that was what was going to happen. We're going to all go pro. We're all going to go to top schools, and you know, we had 12 players from our starting team or from our group go D1 or D1 to D1 schools. So just making sure that you're
with scholarships,
man.
Yeah.
Just making sure you're not letting the outside voices of their experiences, you know, lead over and have you change your mindset and your vision.
Excellent. All right, so on to the coaching.
Yeah.
Right. The new generation, trying to get them to understand and learn. And so, what's your current position right now and your title?
Okay, so I'm with Colorado Rush. I'm the director of coaching. I oversee multiple teams, all the way down from U10 all the way up to U19. And the top teams are my focus, but I do dabble into the second teams at some age groups. And so, yeah, I'm the director of coaching at Colorado Rush.
Excellent. Yeah. So our alma mater.
Yes.
He's now in control. All right, I love it. Why do you do what you do? Why are you in this position?
Why am I in this position? When I signed my first pro contract, I said, I have to go back and give back to Rush. You know, I did not know what that looked like. I had no idea what it looked like, but I knew that I had to go back and give back to the club that believed in me, that took a chance on me, that pushed me to a level that has, you know, helped me not only on the field, but off the field, but I had to go back. So my why was giving back. It was organic. It was something, it was on my bucket list. I had to go back and just make sure I was part
Excellent.
of this club.
Are there days that make you question your decision to go back and help?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for me because, and I have a question for you as well, but it's hard for me because I've already had a dream and already lived my dream, but I'm now 38 and I gotta go to the next spot and try to figure out what's next. So it's hard for me because, you know, some people, they grow up and they want to be a doctor. They want, you know, I'm using the easy stuff, right? They want to be a firefighter. They want to be a teacher, whatever, but right. I wanted to be a pro, right? I knew what came with it. It was a window. And so, yeah, it's hard for me. It's hard sometimes to wake up and not see the passion that we had, you know, in these kids and I don't want just, you know, this team to do it. I want the whole program, I want the whole club to have that fire, you know, that we had, and you know, from the club. I want everyone to bleed blue. So for me, yeah, it's challenging. It's definitely challenging. I remain inspired, you know, because I know, you know, just like I said, with pain you heal, and then things get better.
Get stronger.
Yeah.
What are your biggest challenges you face day to day in being a technical director, or you know, a director of coaching? There's many.
You know, I'm still learning how to understand that you can't please them all. You know, that's a hard one for me. You know, if you look back, man, I wanted everybody to like me. Remember, I was that guy. He doesn't like me, and so that's hard for me. You know, with
facts.
sending an email and then you think it was the best email you put together. You've been. They don't see what you're doing behind the scenes, right? They don't understand. You've called 10 different locations and. You've set up training sessions and last minute this changed, and you're trying to do everything possible to make it better for their kids, but then you still get that email, so not internalizing, you know what I mean? That's been a challenge for me, but field space, commitment levels, costs, you know, things being too expensive, those are probably some of the biggest challenges. miscommunications with someone reading the email, human error.
Right.
But those are some of the biggest challenges that I go through on a daily.
Okay. You mentioned bleeding blue and having the fire and the passion. What is your vision for your club right now?
You just
those are there.
You just said it, man.
Okay. And what does that look like in like actual tangible? What does that look like?
If I can, so you bring this side out with me, man. It's funny, but just being dominant, man. Like that's the best way I could put what we experienced. Is we were dominant, like the '84s, the '83s, the '82s, '81, dominant.
Yes.
When Rush showed up on the scene, you could look into the eyes. You knew the game was already won. Right. You look across, look into the eyes. I'm not going to shout out any clubs. You look across, you look into the eyes, and they weren't ready from the start. So for me, it's just making sure that we get back on the map. We're that club that everyone hates to play against, but everyone wants to play for. We're that club that plays with that intensity and that joy and that passion, but at the same time, that accountability that you brought up. But just giving them a little taste of what they already have and just making sure they're inspired to do it on a daily.
Yeah, because I think for us, the inspiration came from seeing like Connor Casey and Shea Abulaji and Shun Abulaji and James Riley and seeing all these guys play at a high level and then have results and go do something with it. And then at that level, still do it. When I saw Connor scoring goals for the national team, I couldn't believe it. I just knew that was me next.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
You always used to be like, we next. I don't remember, man. But it was, you're on it. Okay.
Yeah. I love knowing that we had to match that level so that dominance would continue.
Yeah.
Yep. What are some of your personal goals with coaching? I know you have your own training. I know you're the director. Is that what you want to do forever? Like, what as far as soccer goes? What are some personal goals?
Yeah, if I'm being honest with you, man, I just want to get better tomorrow. I haven't, and this is something that I am, working on doing, but I just want to get better tomorrow. I want to make sure that tomorrow's better than today was.
Okay.
And just try to, I don't have a long-term, I want this, I want to get this license, I want to do this, I want to do that. I don't have that set yet.
Okay.
Because, I'm huge on, I want it to be organic. Yes, planning, not to say I'm not planning, but I want it to be organic. So for me, it's just, okay, for example, I'm here this weekend. We had 2 games, Can we set a new goal? Can we next week at training, can we start to get better at this element? Can we see that? How do we measure that? Okay, in 2 weeks now, we're conceding less goals, or we're scoring more goals, or we're more compact. How's our fitness levels? So just trying to each day figure out ways. Okay, how can I build the program? And then that's gonna, it's going into my master calendar, but just little by little, just getting better each day.
And then you have your own training as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, and just give us a little quick rundown. The link is in the description, everybody, right?
So King Soccer Training, I started that in 2018, right when I retired, and that's a different one. That the vision for that one, I'll be honest, that one's a little different. Own facility, I want to be the best training program that any player, not only in Colorado but around, comes to visit. Want to provide the mental training that a lot of players are missing. But that for me, that's that one. I want that to be, I want to stamp the world with that one. I'll be honest with you on that.
So if you're in Colorado and you need some extra training from somebody who's actually been there and done that, please.
Hey.
Look, like I said, the link's in the description below. King Soccer Training.
We're going online soon, so I put that out there. I was gonna tell you later. We're going online soon. I'll keep you posted in it as we're developing.
Well, the Las Vegas pros, we like things like that. In the resource tab.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are your kind of current views on football in the U.S. right now? Because they told us we were supposed to win the World Cup already, right? Yeah. When we first started, like, hey, you guys are going to be the group to change, right? And it's not happening. It's not happening. It don't look like it's gonna happen anytime soon.
Right.
You know, and I've been lucky to play with some good players,
Yeah.
and who've gone and done great things, and but even they couldn't get it done. So what's the deal?
You know what, man? You can look at that in a few different ways, and I have this conversation a lot, you know, and it's an ongoing one because there's so many elements that we're missing. So the easiest way I can put it, and this is how I'm taking it.
Before you go to improve, tell me what do you think is going on right now? First, before you think about improving, what is actually okay?
They're getting better too.
Ah.
We forgot about that part. You know what I mean? We're getting better, bro. We were getting better. Like I'm seeing players.
Never thought about it like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, never.
I'm seeing players at the young ages. Fantastic, like stuff that me and you definitely weren't on. No way.
Right, little
so
Izzy.
Come on. They're getting better. They're getting better and better and better. So it's not that we're not getting better. It's just they're getting better too. They're getting better too. And so it's
how do we close the gap then? Now how do we improve? How do we close that gap and catch up to some of the elite nations in the world?
I mean, the easy answer is we have to discontinue basketball and football and get the other athletes.
That's the easy way out. That's the easy way out.
But
sure.
just something as little as
LeBron James as the goalkeeper. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, that's an easy answer. But we don't have enough. Let's go outside, right? I could probably you could drive me around, but where are the street soccer fields for us? Are we even making it appealing for the rest of the world, or for our community,
right?
For these kids to, instead of, okay, I'm gonna get into trouble, I'm gonna go join I need to do something after school, I'm gonna join the basketball team, or I'm gonna go up to the hoop, I'm just going to the gym and just gonna play for hours. Where are our resources? Where can these players go that maybe don't know what they're gonna do? Maybe they're just athletes and they can play, but they don't have a place to just really just shut it down and just become in love with the game. Because until our country is in love with the game, like we're in love with football, like we're in love with baseball, like we're in love with basketball, I'll be honest, it's never gonna happen.
Right.
So for me, is that the answer? No, but I think there's a start. You remember going to Tijuana, right? We pull in and there's an amazing soccer field right there. They have nothing, they're poor, right? But there's resources for these players to go and just to express themselves on a consistent basis. So that would be a start, is just making sure that there's places for them to go. And then I'll be honest, man, like it's too expensive. It's so expensive, so if we can cut down on the price a little bit, we might attract those kids that are playing for their lives, not to say that, players with money can't ball out as well, right? But I'm just saying
there's an element.
We're missing a group of people by not, allowing it to be a little bit more free and organic to go play and develop.
One of the last things you mentioned was that soccer's expensive in America, okay? And I'm like a big proponent of that, and with the Las Vegas Pros is that I don't want the kids to have to pay a lot of money to enjoy. So I'm really willing to work with anyone, right? But this pay-for-play thing, right, that USA does, I think it really hinders the development and the growth of our soccer, right? And you're a director of a club, right? And I guess essentially I am too. But I know there's a lot of money going into these clubs, right? And you're saying, where's the street ball? Where is the environment to build up what makes great players, right? In these other countries, anywhere you go, there's fields everywhere, right? Cage and whatever it is, there's fields everywhere. Why do you think we're not investing into those type of things? Because I looked at, for instance, in Atlanta, they really kind of have that going on right now, right? Like the Atlanta United is really pumping that into the community, new fields and street ball and DJs and music and stuff like that. Why is that not catching up? Why are we not understanding that the rest of the world happens to be better than us, right? The elite groups are better than us at the highest level, but they don't really pay for soccer.
Right.
So why do you think we are and they aren't? But we're not catching them.
So, I think our culture. I think it has to do with our culture.
Okay.
You know, just if you kind of look at it, like, what is our culture? You know, you got the hip hop culture, you got the country. You know, we're pretty separated.
Right.
And so the difference there, right, is soccer connects everyone.
So true.
You know, and so for us, I just don't think it's been, you know, I don't know who has the control. I don't know who says, okay, this has to happen this way or this has to happen this way. But I think that it's culture. It's a cultural thing.
Okay.
And I think that you can't even go into the soccer, like we can't even go towards, you know, U.S. soccer. We can't even, because it's culturally, like soccer's not even culturally accepted here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm on the plane the other day and I'm hearing this lady sit by me and she's, you know, soccer, and I'm just like, dude, like, do you understand, like, it's the biggest in the world. Like, it's not like we got little America here. America's big, but it's like this isn't the be all.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so I think it's a cultural thing that, John, I don't have an answer there, man, but okay. I think it's something that like, I'm all about ripples. You know, if Atlanta's making a little ripple and there's a little wave, okay, so maybe we need to go check out and see what Atlanta's doing. How are they doing it? Maybe I throw that out to Rush. You know, what if we did something like that? Because, John, there's people out there that are gonna pay money for something. For sure. They're gonna give their money. They're gonna donate the money. They're gonna write it off at the end of the year. Why can't that money be for us? You know, and so I think it's little stuff like that. Like, I'm excited you told me that, but like, how do we figure out those models and just do our best to slowly try to catch up? But I think it's a cultural thing, personally.
Because for me, like, I find it difficult even working with other directors of other clubs. Okay. They don't, like, there's no synergy there. There's no, like, how do we get one player from Nevada on the national team, right? Where I feel like in other countries, like, they have loan systems and they work together, and even though they might compete together, it's still like this idea of, like you said, coming together, right? Do you find it difficult to work with other directors? Have you tried ever, or do you feel pushback? Because for me in Nevada, you know me, I'm a big proponent of bringing people together and let's push each other to be the best, and let's go to a goal and attack it, right? And then the goal should be in soccer, get the best players and develop the best players we possibly can, so that all the scouts know Nevada has spectacular players, right? But it seems like a lot of the other directors are more about, where's my money at? How can I make sure I'm paid? How can I take care of myself? These kids come and go, and the parents, like, what's your experience working with other directors?
I'll tell you what, man. I have not had a bad experience yet.
Okay.
I truly feel like the directors at the top clubs that I am working with or I've crossed paths with, you know, they truly, in Colorado, their vision is to help these kids. And so I'm freaking lucky because I've heard horror stories, but it's been progressive. I've actually even leaned in to other clubs and said, hey man, how are you guys doing this, right? I saw, oh, that's a good idea, boom. And I'm bouncing off of them. They call me up, what are you guys doing for this? And so amazing. I'll be honest, man, it's not bad. Now the player poaching, you know what I mean? That might be a different one, but that piece of it, you gotta make sure that, you know, don't set up scrimmages if they're going to the club. That the club's way better because your top player might leave. Right. But when it comes to just that synergy, I can't say it's like this. Right. You know, and maybe that's me and maybe not putting myself out there enough. But what I can say is that the Colorado directors and technical directors that I've had a chance to work with, I've been impressed.
Excellent.
I've been impressed.
If I'm being honest, being here in Nevada versus growing up in Colorado, I would say Nevada's about 25 years behind where Colorado was when we came up.
Okay. Wow.
Right? So they're easily 25 years behind. And I mean that in the sense of, like you just mentioned earlier, how we had 12 kids get scholarships to go Division I on one team. And that was just one team. Mm-hmm. And I know other teams in Colorado who had maybe not as many,
right.
but they still had a few kids who got scholarships to go play sports or play soccer, right? And Nevada, I mean, I coached some really good kids, and they struggled to get that exposure and those looks. So I'd love to hear that Colorado is doing that.
Hey, let me build on that, because that's such a good point. If you look at it like, I mean, because this is something that I don't know if this is something that clicked for you, but when the World Cup and when our national team was doing well, getting American players over to Europe was so much easier.
Yeah.
And so if you look at it like what you just said, we had 12 players go. Now these other clubs can call these colleges and say, hey man, Colorado Rush just put out 12. We're Colorado, we're second we're second best. We got players too.
Right.
It opens up doors instead of, trying to, pretty much, this is the way I put it, light someone's bridge on fire, right? To make you shine.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You can go two routes.
Right.
But I think that in the Colorado route, that's something that has been pretty organic. And I've been proud, man. So I think we're products of that.
Yeah, shout out to Colorado, man. Definitely. Okay, so let's kind of finish with development, okay? What is your philosophy when it comes to development, first at a team aspect or group aspect? What's your philosophy behind that?
From a coaching aspect?
Yes, from coaching, okay. Correct.
We struggle as leaders, directors, coaches to see what we have and mold that. We struggle there. We have our vision. We say it has to be this way. I grew up watching Arsenal Gunners. You grew up watching Man United. This is how the game has to be played. We struggle to actually figure out what you have in front of you and glue that all together and then put out a product that is conducive to what you have. And the problem there is that when you start to try to make players do things that maybe that's not their strength, maybe that's not their, instead of just finding, okay, well, he's tall, I see you as a center back, but what if his feet are fantastic and he's actually a 9 or he's actually a 10?
Right. Just
because you're tall or if you're fast, you don't have to be in this position.
Right.
So I think coaches fail to really see what they have and then mold that all into something that's gonna work. And then you become, it's insanity because you're telling a kid, now you're destroying his confidence. You're telling this kid, you need to do this, and if he can't do it, you're eating him alive. And then it's a personal thing. It's like, are you doing this for the kids or for yourself?
Right.
And so that's the piece that I think that a lot of coaches are missing is actually sitting back and then putting together a product. Now here's the thing, if you figure out ways to mold them and then add on your little stamp, you're gonna start attracting players that are gonna be like you, the kids you want. The kids that can actually do this stuff without too much training.
True.
And so that's something that I think a lot of coaches should kind of think about is that vision conducive to what you have on the field?
So team development should be more about the pieces that make up your puzzle,
Right.
that will actually create the picture.
Yes.
Right? It's not, I have a picture in my mind, I got some puzzle pieces, they don't all fit correct, and I'm gonna try and make it fit.
Give me some tape.
Yeah. Okay.
Now you gotta be. You never take away from. Just because Johnny can't do this, No, you still push them to their max.
Of course.
But we understand.
Yes. I totally get it. It makes complete sense.
Right?
Okay. What about on an individual level as a coach? So what do you look for at an individual player, as far as development goes?
This is something that when I first started coaching youth soccer that stood out to me, and it clicked because at the pro level, at the college level, at the elite youth level, I didn't think about it at first, but when he told me this, it made sense. Personality, man. Personality, like the kid has to have, I'm talking about, about the top, the player that, if you really think about the players,
right,
they have personality.
True.
They're good in the locker room. They can, they can get in front of the camera.
Right,
they're not afraid to, I'll say this lightly, they're not afraid to say something dumb. You know what I mean? They're not afraid to challenge a coach. in a respectable manner, right? You want us to play 4-3-3, but we're playing against a 3-5-2, and they're destroying us on the outside wing. Coach, what are your thoughts on and then, most coaches, hit the defense. You can't play. It's my system or that. No, you open up. That's organic.
Right.
If you're not curious and you don't want to grow, help your kids grow, what are you doing there?
Right.
You just getting the money?
Yeah.
You go get a normal job then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what I would say, man. Is just just making sure that they have that personality. They have that curiosity, and you're always just. You're pushing them. You want to have structure, but they have to have some freedom. They have to have some freedom. But I'd say that's something that an individual side is having personality. And you got to be running the work. You got to be okay with those pushing yourself to a point where. And I'm saying this because I'm dropping knowledge for the top players. I mean, yes, everyone else as well. But take it. But you got to go to a point where you don't even think you could even walk anymore. You know what I mean? You're so tired. You're like, whoa, like you're seeing stars. You got to get to that point because, like we said earlier, pain, you heal.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then you come back stronger.
Yes.
And so that's the piece that I'd say is just personality, having that creativity or that curiosity, having that being creative, asking a lot of questions, in a respectful manner. But
very respectful, please.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Personality is something you have to nurture, right? And it goes hand in hand with the work, right? Because you have to fall in love with the pain and fall in love with the process of the work. But I like that idea of having a personality, because when I do think about top players, they all have a personality and how they carry themselves, even just how they walk. And you kind of can tell who is the best player just by that, right?
You know what I mean?
Looking over there and go, there he is, right? I love that.
Wait, we confused him though with Rush. We confused them. Like, they got 10 of them? Like,
Yeah. Is one more important than the other as far as development, team versus individual?
I think that if everyone is holding their own, the team's gonna shine. So I think that if every individual is the best version of themselves, the team will shine. You can rebuttal that with World Cup teams that have amazing players at every element or at every position, and they do horrible at the World Cup, right?
Right.
Okay, we're talking about youth soccer.
Yeah, youth.
You know what I mean? Yeah. If you have 10 animals, 10 kids that believe in themselves, they're good at their craft, and they bring that on a daily basis, in my opinion, I think that I would lean more on that, because there's a lot of things that you can't control in the team element.
Right.
Who comes to practice? How many people are showing up? You got this beautiful, you're working on a new set piece that is going to be the best set piece, but your goalkeeper's not there. Or you're working on building out the back, but your two center backs can't make it till Friday. And so it's like, look, you want to be professional here, but we can't even. Some kids aren't even showing up to practice.
Right.
But you want to judge me on the weekend product.
Right.
Without seeing what happened during the week.
Right.
So I'd say the individual piece. If you have a group of 10, 15 players that can go and they're refined, I think that is a good recipe for cohesiveness.
I think even that individual side of the development brings accountability, right? Because I know I'm doing the extra work, and if you better be, because I'm going to make sure I check you at practice if you're not.
Exactly.
Right? All right, cool. So let's end with kind of what you segued into, right? The kids not showing up for practice, and you have plans and the weekend product, and that kind of goes to the parents. Right, and as a coach, I find it difficult sometimes to get the parents to understand how actually it works to get their kid to the next level, right? And for me, I can put it in a couple words of like what I feel like the disconnect is. But what do you think the two major disconnects are between you and the club versus the parents that are representing the players? Because these are still youth kids, but we still got to deal with the parents. They are part of the package, right? And I know I kind of look at it as coaching and training a parent, but what are two things that you would say are their reason for that disconnect?
The communication. I think that the communication between to the coach is not correct. I think that parents need to concentrate on empowering your kid, whatever age they are, to actually get those questions answered. It's not the mom's job to call the coach and chew the coach out for Johnny not. It's the mom's job and responsibility, and I would like it to be the mom's job and responsibility to figure out how to help your kid understand that why. Because 9 times out of 10, the kid don't care. You know what I mean? The kid doesn't care. It's the parent that cares, and I get it. It's the money. True. I get it. It's the money and it's the time, and you're doing that. But if for me personally, I'm trying to make sure that these kids are good people too.
True.
And I want to make sure that when they're done playing for me or done in my environment, where you go pro or college or whatever, that you have good life skills.
Right.
And I'm like, what a perfect environment and way for you to teach your kids how to communicate.
True.
So I would say the communication's a little heavy because you deal with way too much. It's distractions. It's email stuff. Right? I think these conversations need to be more. I think they don't need to be on email.
No.
I don't think a text can't define it.
No.
I think a phone call you can deal with, but I think these need to be in person because you can understand that I'll be honest, man, we don't get paid that much. Like we don't get millions for this. This is because we love this game and we're doing the best we can, whether we're good at it or not,
right.
But we're doing what we think is the best for your child.
Right.
And if you've done your research, if you've actually, like I said earlier, you looked at the club, you've gone to practices, you don't just get online and say, who's the best club in Nevada? Who's the best club in Colorado? You say, okay, well, this might be the best club. Does this fit, little Timmy, does this fit his what he's good at, what he needs, So I think that's one big disconnect is the communication. I think it's sometimes coming from the wrong, person. I think that we got to try to remove emotion from it. Right. I think that we have a 24-hour rule at Rush. You cannot. Absolutely. Okay, but some parents abide by it and some don't.
True.
But it's like there's been games where we're winning the game, losing the game, whatever. There's been games where we're winning the game and I get an email right after because, so-and-so didn't play this much. Yeah. And it's like, hey, guys, if you trust the process, like trust us to do well, trust us to make mistakes, trust us to push your kid, And again, like, can you encourage your kid to talk to us more?
Right.
So that's one thing, that's the biggest piece, or that's one big piece I think that...
Huge piece. Like you can't, accountability again, right? You can't blame anyone but your kid.
Yeah.
It's your kid, and that's who you should worry about,
right?
And if you feel like they should be doing better, they should be getting more minutes, that's a conversation you have with your kid, right. Okay? Parents, talk to your children, help them, okay? You can help push them forward rather than push the coach forward, right? We're already grown, we've already done our thing, like you said, you've lived your dream, right. So there's nothing you can help really teach me about soccer, but you can help your kid learn about soccer and life. And the difficulties and the ups and downs and falling in love with pain, like we talked about, right? So, your second one, as we get close to the end here.
Yeah, there's a lack of understanding. I've talked to majority of parents. I don't know anything about soccer. Well, how come you're so quick to email me and
have a conversation?
About something you don't know. Let's learn about it. Right. So there's a lack of understanding. Is that our fault as a club? Can the clubs be sharper and really make it clear? For example, at our club, we do a weekly update. Okay, we do a weekly update. The boys' academy does one, the girls' academy does one, and then now on Sundays the entire club does one.
Right.
Okay. People aren't reading it though.
No.
And so it's we've got to kind of, in my opinion, I think the parents just have to do a really good job, like I was going backwards, just really good job at making sure that you understand what you're getting signed up for, you know, before you actually send the check.
Right.
And then you make sure that you're learning what's going on.
Right.
You know, but I'll be honest, I don't know about you, but if someone sent me an email and said, hey, what are the goals of the program? Like, what are our long-term goals? How are we going to get there? How fun is that for me to sit down and, because now I'm like, oh, she's interested. She wants to help. He's interested. He wants to help. Or he wants to learn more about it.
Right.
You know, got to be careful because, you know.
It's a can of worms.
Yeah, it opens it up.
It
but it's something that's like, you know, it's something that's like really, really, we don't do it enough. You know, you don't learn about what you're talking about, and you know, you don't learn about it before you start just firing it.
Right. Okay. Communication to your own child.
Yeah.
And
lack of understanding.
Right? And not actually understanding what you're talking about, right? And you always sound like a fool if you don't know what you're talking about and you have no research, right?
Yeah, it's kind of winging it.
Yeah. Okay. So we've come to the end, right? And again, this is about education, right? To help parents and you players, right, to understand the actual process of how to get to the next level, right? And I read a book called The Code of the Samurai by Thomas Queeley. I actually read it at NC State a long time ago, okay? But in the book, it spoke about the most important words you will speak will be the last words you say before you die. Those words should be quick and concise, right? And it should be advice for the next generation to do better than what we did, okay? Now, one sentence, what is your advice to the next generation?
Ooh.
One sentence, right?
Always be true to yourself.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. King, thank you so much for coming on and being my first guest of Hablemos. Yeah. It's been great. We've got into some really good stuff. I feel like it's spiritually been opening for the two of us to kind of rehash a 30-year relationship. You know what I'm saying? I'm so blessed to have you here. I'm so blessed to have you as a guest and as a friend, as a brother, and I've shared this journey with you.
Hey, man. Hey, first, appreciate you having me out.
Yeah. First of many, I hope.
Yes, appreciate having me out. If you guys don't know, man, anything this dude normally touches, it comes the vision. It's so pure and it comes to life. And so when you called me about this, I knew it was gonna be electricity. I got so many chills sitting here with you, man. I'm blessed and honored that I'm on your set, and I can't wait to see where the show goes.
Yeah, me too. So to everyone, first episode of Hablemos, Let's Talk is in the books. I appreciate you spending the time with us. Please like and subscribe to the channel. We'll be doing giveaways and amazing things as we go forward. We're gonna have so many amazing guests like we just had Aaron King, and we're gonna have all kinds, directors, and I want parents, and I want players, and I want everyone to be involved and have this interactive, because again, it's about you guys. Like Aaron said, we got to live our dream and enjoy that life. And I would love to see the next generation do 10 times better than we ever could imagine. And that's our goal, and that's why we're here, and that's why we're gonna open up to you guys. So peace, love, and blessings to everyone out there. From us to you, have a great night, have a great day wherever you are in the world, okay?